to those that might be watching this later. Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakah, Quadash. And double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And the mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, Lord willing that you can continue to endure and be sincere. Lord willing that y'all all can continue to endure and be sincere in the same sound doctrine. And shalom to the Akwatiyam, believers of his faith and his truth. Lord willing you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent, virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This, again, is inspired by a video I watched by Elder Yashawamba, elder of Great Millstone in Dallas. He was speaking about, he had reposted a video of Apostle Gabar speaking about the spiritual ark and about being grateful. But through the Spirit, Yarmayan, before we even was doing the live, he was talking about the ark, the door is going to close. He was saying this last night that the door is going to close, man. The door is going to close. The ark, the door going to close. Now, we didn't end up going into that when we did our little walk and talk, but I get out of work and I'm getting my mind right. I'm in my own zen and I'm scrolling on YouTube, and Elder Yashawamba, through the Spirit, it dropped the video of Apostle Gabar saying, speaking about the spiritual ark. That's not a coinkydink. How the head of my camp, Yarmayan, is speaking about the ark around 10, 11 o'clock at night. We get done with work at 8 in the morning, and I'm scrolling and looking at the notification. The first video I even played, the only video I played, was the video of Elder Yashawamba from the GMS Dallas camp. And that video was a real small video of the ark, that we got to be grateful. So I'm going to bring out a few precepts, get in the spiritual ark, right? Because the door is about to close. Shalom to the brother. Yahweh Shemashai Brakatah. Yarumya, right? Chazak. Shalom, Yahweh Shemashai Brakatah. Lord willing, this is edifying to anybody that might be watching this later on, and to any brother that, you know, from the back end might be seeing this too, right? So again, this is inspired by two brothers, Yarmayan and the Elder Yashawamba, really three, Apostle Gabar's video, right? And I might, depending if I don't go too long, I might try to play the little clip video. But first, I want to go to Genesis, the 7th chapter, to start this off. Like, the ark, this spiritual ark is truly about to close, man. And you ain't gonna be able to hear this truth no more. And that's the elect desire that. Shalom, see, Jeremiah is on the live. What you said about that ark closing. I left work, man. Hours passed. And Elder Yashawamba dropped a video about Pastor Gabar speaking about the doors about to close. And he was speaking about the ark and being grateful. That you can't, man. That you can't make that up, man. That right there, I had to, tell Yahweh Shemashai the water, because I feel like that was a sign for me to do a video. I didn't think I was until I got the second, what is it? The second spiritual notification to do a video on the spiritual ark, right? So this is Genesis the 7th chapter, starting at 11, and it's something that I wrote on the comment section of Elder Yashawamba's live. That video. And Lord willing, I could share it with you guys. Yes, I got it. Yes, good thing it didn't get deleted. So Genesis, the 7th chapter, verse 11, it says, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, the windows of heaven were open, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the self same day entered Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, and the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, into the ark. And they and every beast after their kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark. 2 and 2 of all flesh were in, is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bared up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. Now, before I get into this word, when you look up 40 days, before I give you the meaning of the number 40, and if Jeremiah, you still on here, you remember Solomon reigned 40 days, and we were speaking about it at camp, and I showed you a spiritual meaning for the word 40, and anybody can go look it up. They give you 2 different things. But in the beginning, at the end of verse 16, it says Yahweh shut him in. Now in the flesh, Noah probably would have let people in, because he's hearing babies, women crying. We're in the flesh, right? So even with this truth, when dealing with Amos 8, when the Lord make the famine of the word, he is making the famine of the word. He is shutting that door again. History is merely repeating itself, but on this level, it's going to be in a spiritual sense, because this teaching is spiritual. So I looked up the word, the spiritual meaning for 40. It means a period of testing, trial, and preparation, often marking a time of transformation or new beginnings. So even in the time where this ministry is shut, as soon as this ministry is shut, we're already in a trial now, but now we're going to get into the ending trial, in order, for the coming of Hamashiach Yahushai, right? And it's going to be a period of testing and trials. The MOTB, Jacob's trouble, that's going to be a test and a trial for the elect. When you go to 2 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, verse 5, KJV, NLT, it tells you, examine yourself to see if you have genuine faith, right? Hey, and the brother looked up the 44 means mercy, right? And that even goes to, the Lord has given us this grace by this word, right? The compassion by him giving us this word. So you should take hold onto it. This ministry is bait. When people say in the world, oh, I did this for clickbait, truly this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is clickbait for the elect. They're drawn to it. They're attracted to it, right? What it's saying, Corinthians, it is a Hamashiach-like fragrance. I know y'all watch cartoons. You remember when in Tom and Jerry or any other cartoon when they was cooking food and the smoke went in the air and they would follow the smell? That's the Hamashiach like fragrance that the elect is being drawn. It said in Genesis 7, verse 15, and they went in unto Noah into the ark. 2 and 2 of all flesh were in is the breath of life, right? And the elect have the breath of life. They're standing on their feet and they're being drawn in this ark. A lot of y'all, I mean, of course, if we didn't believe in Yahweh Shemashai, we wouldn't even know why our life is going this way or that way. But now the elect, because this truth has been revealed, you know the Lord been plotting for you to come in this thing, to come in the ark, right? Because he set you up to come in this thing. So again, 40 the spiritual meaning for it, it means a period of testing and trial. The MOTB, feminine word, Jacob's the MOTB, Jacob's trouble, and preparation, often making a time of transformation or new beginnings, right? Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, verse 9, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning, right? Everything that you doing now, yesterday, today, tomorrow, everything is making its spiritual footprint on what's going to happen in your future, right? Because MOTB, are you going to be able to overcome? Are you going to be able to overcome Jacob's trouble, right? That goes off of the work you put in now. Not just only teaching, meditating on this word, the conversations you have with brothers, right? When you're dealing with something, right? How you dealing with it in your mind, right? How is you ordering your household? We know what the scriptures say. If a man can't order his household, he's not fit to be a leader in his church. You know, and hey, for any man that got a wife and a household and really about this, I can understand that you are all-star man in your household because you don't play about Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And even of a woman that could be watching this and she with a true man of the Lord, you should even know, right? That it's a man's duty under Yahweh Shem Shai to order his house, but that goes with Sirach 27:3. If a man don't hold himself in the fear of the Lord, his house is going to soon be overthrown. And that goes just like how Elder Apostle, he's the head of Great Millstone. If he's not keeping this spiritual house, this foundation, this sound doctrine that we teaching, right, the house is going to be overthrown, you know? But that's why it has to stay in order. That's why he has to be on the top of things. That's why he has to cut brothers. Watch what brothers saying. If you slip the tongue, he got to rebuke you, correct you, so you can actually have a fighting chance to correct that. You see? So again, that 40 represents new beginning. And when he got on that boat and after the water went down, the rain and all of that, guess what? Land appeared. But he had to, send birds out, a raven and then a dove to go find land. And then now the establishment that Japheth, Shem, and Ham was planting their seeds and their wife. And look, all the nations is back on the earth again. Because the Lord has a plan which he declared from the beginning. Now we doing the ark all over again, but in a spiritual sense, right, for the coming of Hamashiach Yahushai. Because he's going to rain, those missiles is going to come down in the vehicles of the Lord. Right? A beautiful scene. So now let's get to our next precept. And again, you still in doing the cheat code like Apostle Tahar and Apostle Gabar, having the cheat sheet. I wrote these precepts down because I'm telling you that video hit and I had to write me something. So Lord willing, we can go through all of these. We already went through Genesis, the 7th chapter. Now let's go to Amos 9 and 11. Right? This is Amos chapter 9, verse 11. Right? Because you've seen in the Noah's Ark, he had the clean and unclean animals. But in this ministry, what are we doing? Right? We're getting the clean. We're getting the righteous. Right? We're getting the elect men, the elect lady, and the elect child. Right? Amos 9:11, it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, right? Ever since David and Solomon, the kingdom of Israel never been the same. Never ever. Even though Hezekiah, we had good moments. Hosea, right? We had good moments. But at the end of the day, it was not the same like it was at peace in the time of Solomon, right? So the Lord is going to bring back that order that was under David, where he subdued all the nations and Israel was one, the whole 12 tribes, not two kingdoms. And then Solomon reigned for 40 years, which that 40 again, new beginnings, right? And we were at peace. We loved one another. Noah Dark Brothers was at peace. You understand? So the Lord is going to rebuild the ruins, but he said he's going to close the breaches thereof. Right? Then that goes into like a hole in the wall. He's going to close the damage, you know? And that just even goes back into the ark. The Lord is going to, after he rebuild the tabernacles of David, dealing with the elect men, women, and child, right? The doors is going to be closed, right? Zechariah 13, right? 2 are going to be cut off, and the 1/3 is going to be left therein. And they're going to be tried like gold in the fire. You see? So verse 12, it says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahweh that doeth this. After Solomon fell, in the time of David and Solomon, again, the kingdom of Israel never been the same. We did not subdue Edom, because after Solomon fell, Edom left to try to establish their own kingdom. No, but no, I don't care any Christian. Oh no, we believe in the whole Bible, but you go into the new, Jesus is going to do something different. Hey, let's go back to prophecy, right? Let me get that, and I'm gonna read what the brother dropped, right? Because we can't. That's the number one thing about this. I think it's in Corinthians, the 12th chapter. One of the best talents, I'm just saying it, is to prophesy. The best talent, the best gift that the Lord gives us. This Revelation, the 19th chapter, verse 10, it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship God, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy, right? And in these testimonies, it goes all the way to prophecies, parables, dark sayings that lead to the coming of Yahushai, that lead to the rebuilding of the tabernacles of David, right? The brother, Yarmaiah, he dropped Isaiah 11 and 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. That didn't happen yet. Now we're in a time where the 12 tribes are laboring and dwelling amongst each other, right? There's still some attitude there, but guess what? That's the 2/3, man, right? Because when you come in this faith, hey, yo, man, I love Latino. Cinto calacinte. I don't even know what I said. Uno, dos, tres. Mexicans, Indians, right? Even the brothers, like truly when you connected to the natives, that yo, coming in this truth, when you got this understanding, the brotherhood is amazing throughout all the tribes. Right? That goes with Jeremiah 50 and 33. Right? Judah and Ephraim will be pressed together. Right? And the Lord is going to gather us from the land of the north. We're in the land of the north right now. The northern kingdom was here first for about, a good approximate of 1,000 years plus more, right? And now the southern kingdom is here, right? Of course, they got afflicted. They got transported in different places. And then the southern kingdom came. They stepped foot in Americas and got planted all around the world, right? Babylon is where you got the most of the 12 tribes together. In Babylon is where you have the 12 tribes in different cities teaching together. You got some Jake that might think they this tribe, but they probably really that tribe. That's how mixed up and fucked up Esau got us. But it was all by the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because he's raising up the tabernacles of David. How? By the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He's not doing it in the same way, like through the spirit. How Noah built the ark, wood by wood, piece by piece, screw by screw. He's building us by every man, because the tabernacle of David start with the 12 tribes of the men, because we can't have this teaching, this ministry, without the 144,000 teaching, which some of them is in the spirit world and some of them is on the earth, right? Just like how the apostles, it makes total sense, because some of them met like Daniela, a few brothers that was truly in this faith went to the spirit world. Some of the men of the Lord is in the spirit world, you know, and some of them is on the earth, teaching this sound doctrine, this 100% truth, right? Because wood by wood, piece by piece, screw by screw has to be built. And through the spirit, each lesson is building up the men of the Lord and you women and the children, you know? Yes, we get hard on the women, right? Because a lot of our downfall is because of you women. It all starts with Eve, right? And because y'all in the flesh, you're more of a hard problem on this side because your emotions and feelings. But that's why the Lord toughened up all stern men, right? Sometimes when you screwing in something, you might hit your finger, or the screw might not fit, or you didn't cut the wood right. You got to understand, Noah was teaching people for 100 years while he was building that ark. It took time, right? 350 years without this truth. It took time to mold us, and now we in 2025. Through the spirit, time went quick, right? Let's go to Amos, the 8th chapter, and let's read verse 11 and 12. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Shemashai power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro, and to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Right? This is truly talking about Babylon, but anything for the elect, wherever you at, is going to happen to all of us, right? Because even if some of the elect men that could be in China, you can't even teach the word. So famine of word is going to hit multiple places, but this is really going into Babylon, right? And people are going to go to and fro. And this is making me think of what I said in the other video, and the elder said this too. You 2/3 are going to actually, it's going to hit you in the head, and then you're going to try to act like you heard this truth before, or you're going to try to act like you got common sense now, or you're going to want to know your mom, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, one of your ex, or whoever the hell that ever you came across in this truth through the spirit. Nobody can hide from the spirit. Soon as you came across somebody that was in this truth, that spoke about this truth, they was the reflection of the light of this truth, you've been marked. So if you were 2/3, you're going to be a part of Amos, the 8th chapter, verse 12, going to and fro looking for the word. You're going to be looking for the men that you came across. It don't matter if it was in the Falls. It don't matter if it was Buffalo. It doesn't matter if it was in New York. Some of y'all, it just said they going to travel from sea to sea. Some of y'all going to leave your hometown because you said, man, I moved here, but I remember people over there that was teaching, and they had some common sense. I'm about to, hey, yo, cousin, do you got an extra bed? Because I got to come over there. I got to do something. Some people going to come to your city, and they don't even live in your city, just because they either came across you or they watched you on a video. And guess what? The Lord is going to shut the door. You might knock on my house, and we might be in there, and I might look through that peephole. You ain't getting in. Lord willing, Lord willing, I'm on that number. But look, anybody that I did see, you know, because, you know, it's all the will of Yahweh Shemashai. But anybody that I see, just me being jealous of the Lord, if you want to come in at the last minute, that's just like, it was a picture I was going to screenshot, which you see on the thumbnail. You seen Jake trying to run to the boat of Noah in the rain and the water falling, they running. A lot of y'all is going to be that. And guess what? That door going to shut right on your damn face, right? In the same way, that door's not opening, right? Even the spirit gonna be on them women and wives, because it's gonna get real when we can't teach. Women gonna really tap into being obedient, listening. You might be downstairs, upstairs. Hey, yo, babe, somebody at the door. But any other day when time moving, they open up that door. When shit really hit the fan, when the feminist word come, man, everybody gonna be on their P's and Q's. And you should be doing that now. The Lord about to get ready to close this door, man. Right? You better get shit in order. If you can't see the signs, the things that's moving in motion, the door is about to be closed on that ass. Right? When we read Genesis 7th chapter, you don't see Noah trying to fight to open up the door. So when the Lord sealed that door, it was no way he could open it back up. It's over. So now let's go to this point right here. This goes off of what me and Yarmayan was bringing in our walk and talk last night, but we didn't read to this point. So we're gonna read from verse 1 to 10. 10 is the point. So Lord willing, you paying attention. This is Matthew, the 25th chapter, verse 1. It says, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom." So this is a parable, an earthly story, but a heavenly matter. The bridegrooms is really talking about the Israelites, right? From the virgins is really breaking them down to the elect and the non-elect. The elect to the 2/3. Verse 2, "And 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps." In the NLT, it tells you the foolish didn't take enough oil. When you read in the NLT about the wise, it says the wise took extra oil. It says, "While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out." See, and this shows you that you ain't wise, because you had all this time to prepare and get all the things that you need, but now you want to ask me for mine? That goes for somebody knocking on the door, trying to, "Oh, okay, can you teach me this word?" And they didn't. Why it was open shop. What the Lord say? Buy the truth and sell it not. They should have been gathering that oil, right? So this is what the wise said. But the wise answered in saying, "Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves." And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, which is Hamashiach Yahushai, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut, right? And really, to be with the bridegroom is them being beamed up in a chariot, being with the Lord. 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, verse 15 to 17, right? But it says the door was shut. I'm gonna read that again. "And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut." So if your cousin not getting this now, your auntie, your friend, your best friend, if they not getting this, they're gonna try to come. And we're gonna read verse 11. We're gonna go to another precept. We're gonna read the brother's precept, but the door is gonna be shut. While you doing whatever you doing, the Lord is gonna make a famine of word, and it's not gonna hit you just yet, but shit gonna hit the fan, and then right there and then you're gonna be looking for the word, but the door is already shut, and we gonna get to that. The brother dropped 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, verse 1 and 2. "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." And through the Spirit, the Lord is visiting the earth, right? Because he's speaking to everybody by the men of the Lord. The men of the Lord are shaking the hand. They're saying, "Thus saith the Lord." The Lord is doing certain disasters, but guess what we have to do? You have to measure out the time. First and foremost, you got to think. Abba Bivens came in the scene, and look how the Lord made the truth flourish. You even see the wicked that come in his faith, and they flourish. That right there is a sign in itself that the prophets, the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers are back on the earth teaching. That should really give you the heebie McJeebies. You're like when you watching a movie, it's so good, and you eating a popcorn, you just stuffing your face. I always say it like Asher, you know, but that's a backhand laugh. Y'all won't get it. You know, you all into it. You have to measure out the times of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua that he's putting in front of us. You see Trump in office, 1 minute he's making high tariffs, and then he's making low tariffs. Something is not adding up. Guess what? The elite have all this motion going on because they're ushering in the MOTB, right? Apple just said they want to join forces so that you can use your head, your mind, to work your cell phone devices. Something is adding up, and you should be measuring out the times every day, every week, every month, every year, right? You should be getting on these journalist YouTube channels. Why do you think everybody doing podcasts? The Lord is putting that spirit out, and guess what? It's podcast people that are like journalists that's searching for information that's not even getting on the TV, on news, to give to us. That's the Lord giving us this information. Yahweh Shem Shai is truly doing the heavy lifting for us, man. You know? So now, let me get this precept of water, brother, because those right there, that's a warning. You should be measuring out the times. So again, Matthew 25:10, when the foolish was going to buy some oil, the bridegroom came, and the wise went up with him in the marriage, but the door was shut. Let's go to Matthew the 7th chapter. This right here, the scary hour, right? Yeah, I call this verse scary hour. This is Matthew the 7th chapter, and we're going to read verse 22. It says, "Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity." Right? The Lord might have a brother that was in his faith, and just because he know the name of the Lord, he knows some precepts, and he have old history of teaching, he might think that that's going to give him escape, escape from the judgment that's going to come. If you wasn't taking this serious, the Lord is documenting all of us, man. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. It don't matter what problems you in, right? When the Lord call you, the elect is not teeter-tottering. We can go to Luke, where people made excuses. I got married, I got land, I got cattle, right? Or the one dude said he had to bury his father. The Lord, when the Lord called you to do this comes before all of that. We got to know that the Lord can wipe out everybody, you know? When the Lord calls, this is the number one important thing, because you want the Lord that's in the heavens to watch you doing the work that he called you to do, right? Because he can live and make of alive. He make you alive, bringing you in this truth and this knowledge, right? So if you ain't taking this serious, the Lord gonna say, I don't know you. Let's go back to Matthew 25 and let's read verse 11, right? What did it say in verse 11? Matthew 25, verse 11. "Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open up to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not." They knocking. You know when there's somebody trying to knock, and they knocking at the door, and you ain't open the door, and they just keep knocking and keep knocking. Then, sometimes you got the one with, who is it at the door? It's me. I don't know you. I don't know you. You don't look familiar, but you know them. You don't want to open it up. Then they say, oh, is Devon here? No, he not here. I see his car. He took somebody else's car. You got to understand, how would that feel? The Lord said he don't know you, man. That's why you got to be grateful that this truth, and you got to take it serious. Like most football players, they're not doing the Odell Beckham, catching it with one hand, or like Randy Moss and them. They're catching it with two hands. You got to catch this ministry with two hands and don't let it go, man. You can't fumble. How people say fumble the bag. A lot of y'all fumbling the spiritual bag, man. Because that's why the Lord say lay up treasures that's in heaven, where it don't gain a rust or moth eat it away. Double up your spiritual wealth by the Lord giving you this ministry, man. When you come in this thing through the Spirit, you are in the ark. Now it's for you not to be in this flesh to try to open up that door. Some of you niggas move in the flesh and you trying to open up that door, kick it down, man. I got to get out. Guess what? You leave this thing, Hebrew 6, you can't get back in here. Just because you know the name of the Lord, just because you know 2, 3 precepts, you remember your old lesson you did, you can't get back in here. You know? He said, I don't even know you. Now let's go to this one. We got 2 more, then we gonna close. This is 1 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. I'm gonna read it in NLT. You can read it in the KJV. It just was hitting when I was reading the KJV, and then I said, wait, hold on. Let me read it over here in the NLT. So this is 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, verse 1. It says, therefore, since God in his mercy have given us this new way, we never give up. We reject all shameful deeds and underhanded methods. We don't try to trick anyone or distort the word of God, right? We don't try to use his word deceitfully, right? To gain viewers or to gain people in this thing. You want to be truthful. You want to be sincere. It says, we tell the truth before God because he is watching, and all who are honest knows this. If the good news we preach is hidden behind a veil, it is hidden only from people who are perishing, right? So if you can't get it, right, and that door closed and you looking for the men of the Lord, you're perishing. It's not that I wish. If the 2/3 was watching us, if you wicked niggas was watching, that left this truth, playing around with this truth, and people that's of the world, if you try to come and look for this truth at that time and wasn't taking it serious now, you keep that same energy because you're perishing. That's cold. It says, Satan, who is the God of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe because he is at work. Don't you know even Satan, that spirit, that demon, has to test the elect, just like Job, just like Yahushai. The elect, you got to get tested like Yahushai, right? It says, but you're going to overcome because the gospel wasn't hidden to you. It was revealed. Deuteronomy 29:29. It says, they are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. They don't understand this message about the glory of Hamashiach, who is the exact likeness of God. You see, we don't go around preaching about ourselves. We preach that Yahushua Mashiach is Lord, and we ourselves are your servants for Yahushua's sake, right? The men of the Lord, just because brothers are talking about 144,000, I mean, you know, the men, you should desire that number, but you are servants of servants for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You are a servant. If you calling yourself a teacher, you are a servant. This is why brothers should be doing videos. This is why brothers should be sharpening a sword, because even you're studying to give an answer. Truly, every time you study, especially as a man of the Lord in this thing, you are sharpening your sword. You are studying to give an answer. And if somebody do ask a question, you have to be ready to give an answer, right? So verse 6, it says, for God, who said, let there be light in the darkness, has made this light shine in our hearts, our mind, so we can know the glory of God the glory of God that is seen in the face of Yahushua Mashiach. We now have this light shining in our hearts and our mind, but we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure. This makes it clear that our great power is from God and not from ourselves, right? Just what I said before this lesson, this is not of me, right? And this is not about me. It's not even about the elect. This is about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, who has chosen the elect. Come on, man. He chose the elect. The ministry chose you because this whole thing is of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You didn't choose it. Most of us, if you had a goal or a dream, like the apostles and the 2 bishops on the Tuesday class that I was watching, I was finishing it. He was saying, man, I would have never expected me to do this. I wanted to be a magician. You know, all of us had different goals and things we wanted to accomplish. Nobody had this on their mind, right? But it was all the Lord. It says, we are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. Just like that brother that had that accident at work, right? Yes, he has trouble on all sides. Yes, he did get touched, but he didn't get crushed, because in the all in, where if the Lord is still allowing you to still move and function and you get healed up, you could still add on to the ministry. Your testimony, right? It might uplift and motivate another brother, just like the brother Daniela from Great Millstone that had his whole body burnt and he had cancer. And then the last thing I seen him and watch him do was do a lesson. He in the spirit world now. You know, it's worth it, you know, to stress, to struggle, or to be in pain, but to still be able to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Stand on my feet all day at work, my feet feel good, but as soon as I stand up, it just don't feel right until I get off of concrete. But I go labor with my brothers, we just stand in one spot, not complaining the same way I would at work. You know, verse 9, it says, we are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Yahushai, so that the life of Yahushai may also be seen in our bodies. Yes, we live under constant danger of death because we serve Yahushai. That's what you got to know, what you signed up for, right? This is a life and death thing, right? We're going to truly gain life through Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? And there's going to be people that's going to seek to put you to death. It says, so that the life of Yahushai will be evident in our dying bodies. So we live in the face of death, but this has resulted in eternal life for you. But we continue to preach because we have the same kind of faith the psalmist had when he said, I believe in God, so I spoke. We know that God who raised the Lord Yahushai will also raise us with Yahushai and present us to himself together with him. That goes to 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 15 and 17. Going with 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, 50 to 54, about that incorruptible body, you know, being changed in the twinkling of an eye. You know, we're going to forever be with the Lord in that day. Verse 15, it says, all of this is for your benefit. Come on, man. All of this is for your benefit. Take it. Don't take it for granted. Care about it. Be devoted. Right? Because this is a true thing, man. It said all of this is for your benefit. And as God's grace reaches more and more people, there will be great thanksgiving and God will receive more and more glory. Right? This is to benefit the elect, man. Lord willing, the Most High put it in your heart, put it in your mind to cleave unto this. I'm about to go over and read 2 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, verse 2 in the NLT. It says, we grow weary in our present bodies, and we long to put on our heavenly bodies like new clothes. Get your butt in the ark. Really, you should be praying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that he bring you in this ministry, right? It's something that I'm adding in my prayers. Just the same when Yahushai was on the cross with those two men, the one dude asked, he said, Lord, please remember me in your paradise. Remember me in your kingdom. And he said, I will. That's him basically asking for repentance because he knew he was wrong. Then he even told the wicked dude, right, this man innocent and we not. You know, you should be longing for that new body. And every action you make shows that you long for that new body, that you long to be with Hamashiach Yahushai, that you long to be at peace, that you long to be in order and united with all your brothers in the whole nation of Yasharallah. You shall long for this, hope for this, desire for this. You know, what is you doing to make sure every day that is on your mind? Like Yarmayan, he was saying last night, because we were speaking about the kingdom, we were speaking about bodies, we were speaking about chariots. Like, who's having these type of conversations? But then you got some that's in a position and got their mindset of saying the chariots of the Lord is not real. And I already did a video saying the modern day chariot for man on earth is a car, an airplane, a damn boat. And then Elder Yashawamba was doing a lesson on it, and I heard it today, and he said, man, the modern day chariot that we use today is not the chariot in ancient Egypt. or in Rome, hey, yeehaw, with the horse and the joint dragging back. No, our modern day chariot is a car. So the Heavenly Father has a chariot. It's not a chariot that's the same as Egypt. Dealt with think that brothers are gonna be flying on a chariot like in Egypt and horses moving around like this Hercules. No, man. Get in this damn ark because the doors is about to be sealed. Let's get this last one, right? This is in the KJV. This is Psalms 9 verse 9. It says Yahweh also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in the time of trouble, right? That refuge can go into a shelter, it can go to a high place, and it can go to a high tower because the name of Yahweh Shem Shai is a high tower, right? And it even goes into a defense, right? What was the ark? It was a defense from the rain, because what do boats do? It sails on the water, right? It was a defense. What was the other meaning? Got high tower. Okay, yes, it was a high place, but it was a shelter. It sheltered all the animals. A lion is not swimming for that long in deep water, right? Then the ark was a shelter for the clean and unclean animals. This ark, this spiritual ark, is a shelter for the elect, right? Let me get this other one. A precept came to mind. I believe it's in I think it's 1 Peter, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. 1 Peter chapter 2. And I'll start at verse, I'll just read verse 5. It says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Yahushua Mashiach, right? The first thing I want to say, we're lively stones. It's just symbolic to Yahushua because he's that chief cornerstone, right? And are built up a spiritual house. This spiritual house is the church of the Lord, man. This is the small sanctuary of the tabernacles of David, right? And then it says to offer up spiritual sacrifices. That even goes with when you go to Genesis, the 7th chapter. When you go to Genesis, the 7th chapter, because it says making sacrifices acceptable unto Yahweh Shem Shai. The water, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai Brakatham. The water, man, is all Yahweh Shem Shai. Can't do it without him. Now, it was something I wanted to get because, well, after Noah left the ark, what did he do? This is Genesis, the 7th chapter, verse 20. It says, Noah built an altar unto Yahweh and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl and offered burnt offerings on the altar. Yahweh smelled a sweet savoring, and Yahweh said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imaginations of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. But you see, Noah made an altar and sacrificed clean animals for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? And we're supposed to lay ourselves down as that sacrifice, right? When you on fire for the Lord, that is a sweet savory for the Lord. When you're fire for the Spirit, right? Let's go to Jeremiah the 20th chapter, verse 9, right? Because the elect men, you are a sweet savoring smell, because you are a sacrifice, right? This is Jeremiah 20 in verse 9. It says, then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. Let's get Psalms 104, verse 4. It says, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flaming fire? Right? We are a sacrifice, right? For Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You know, through the Spirit, the men of the Lord, you are Noah, basically. Right? Building up the ark bit by bit. Then the Lord gonna shut this door. Now, you men of the Lord, right? And with the elect lady and the children that's getting on the ark, y'all know that that door gonna be closed, right? Because the Lord got you teaching this thing. But the ones that don't know, the ones that's not taking it serious, that door gonna be shut on your ass, man. Oh, you know what? Let me go on the balcony. You know what? Let me go run around the town real quick. Let me go over here real quick. Let me go do this podcast real quick. Okay, go do it. The Lord gonna have that door shut on you, and then you gonna try to get back in and you can't. You know, because the Lord gonna shut the door. This is all Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is his story. Well, the Isaiah 46:10, the Lord is declaring the end from the beginning, and he's going to do all his pleasure. You better hope. That's why we say, Lord willing, we're the hopeful elect. You better hope that you're a part of that pleasure on the right-hand side. With that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Brakat Yahweh, Brakat Yahushai, Brakat Yahushai, the water Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for this edifying lesson. Lord willing, is edifying to your other sheep, regardless if they hear it for bear, right? And double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well, teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, in the same mind. Lord willing, y'all continue with the same sound doctrine, continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwatiyam, believers in his faith and his truth. Continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And with that, shalom, shalom, abba, abba.